Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show that we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, as well as Facebook and YouTube. So if you are joining us from either of those places, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to address it as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at our headlines. Well, through the rest of the night, it's just going to be pretty breezy and cold out there. We've even got a few flurries that have trickled through some areas of the tri-state. Not everybody is seeing that, but you could see a flake or two if you're out and about this evening. And then we'll stay fairly quiet through much of this week with really not a whole lot moving through the tri-state. We've got a couple of frontal boundaries that'll try to make a pass through that really doesn't impact us all that much. And it looks like as we get towards the middle and end of this week, just in time for the new year, we are going to warm back up to around normal and then possibly even above normal by the time we get into the start of next week. So I'll break down all of that for you, but let's get started with a look at our setup across the U.S. Obviously, yesterday, very different than what we were dealing with today. Yesterday, we had record highs topping out at around 70 degrees here in the Evansville area yesterday afternoon. Then we had that very strong cold front move through last evening. Not only did that bring us around to some thunderstorms with some severe weather warnings and of course some tornado warnings, but it also brought a very sharp drop in those temperatures. So we cooled all the way down into the 20s by Sunday night. So from 70 down into the 20s just by one cold front passage. So that was certainly a powerful one, and it continues to bring some colder impacts across the eastern half of the United States. You're looking at some colder air now pushing into the East Coast, and then you've got some lake effect snow just cranking across the Great Lakes region, Michigan, up into northeastern Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, all getting hit with those lake effect snow bands. And with some of that moisture trapped below the high pressure that we have in place, that has prompted a few flurries to pop up here in the tri-state. Again, not everybody's seeing them, but if you're out and about, you may see a flake or two. It's not going to accumulate, but at least it's pretty to look at as some of it lightly falls. So check out your window and see if you can see anything. But looking at our 24-hour temperature change, this is really that big difference we felt as we stepped outside today. You know, we were in the shorts yesterday. Today we were bundled up with several layers because temperatures were just so much colder. Again, we only really topped out in the 20s today, in the low to mid 20s, and we really haven't moved all that much from where we topped out. 24 here in Evansville, 26 in Madisonville, sitting at around 25 there in Owensboro and Henderson. And what makes it feel a lot worse, obviously, is the wind gusting up to 20, even 25 miles per hour is making it feel like the teens across the tri-state. 13 now in Evansville and Owensboro, 15 is what it feels like in Madisonville, 17 for Fairfield. And looking at the wind chill forecast through the next 12 hours, we'll continue to see temperatures hanging out in the teens through the overnight and into early tomorrow morning. Some spots may even drop down into the low or upper single digits by tomorrow morning. So very cold start tomorrow again, but our actual air temperatures will be dropping down to around 18 degrees overnight tonight, and then we'll warm back up above freezing. Hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, we'll be topping out at around 33 degrees with mostly sunny skies, a little bit less windy, so it is going to feel more comfortable about as you go about your day. But looking at our future radar tomorrow, again, we'll wake up to mostly sunny skies. Then as we get into the late afternoon hours, we may have some higher level cloud cover stream on in from the north, but we should stay dry with partly cloudy skies headed into Tuesday evening, and then again partly cloudy as we get into Wednesday. But looking at our precipitation outlook here through the end of the month and into the start of January, it looks like we have a drier pattern kind of taking shape, at least through the center part of the country. And that does include us here in the tri-state as well. So looking at our precipitation chances, you'll see that's reflected here. We don't really have a whole lot of opportunity for rain or snow within the next 7 days. Again, we've got a couple of frontal boundaries or a couple of near-miss low pressure systems that may bring us the chance for a sprinkle there on Friday evening over western Kentucky, but that's really the only good chance of precipitation that I'm seeing, and even then it's only a 20%. So here's a look at what's going on. We've got a couple of clipper systems that'll pass to our north Wednesday, and then even into Thursday as well. We're not expecting that to really impact us much at all. That will kick off to our east. That'll increase our cloud cover a little bit there Wednesday into Thursday morning, and then mostly sunny skies return for Thursday afternoon before they fill back in for Friday. And now that low pressure system that's passing well to our south, most of the action with that is going to be staying to our south. However, some models do want to bring a little bit of that rain up into western Kentucky for Friday night and into early Saturday, but that's about it for the rest of this week. And even into the start of next Monday, we don't even really have all that great chances of rain, but it is going to warm up here. So that's going to be our bigger story. The temperature outlook through the next 6 to 10 days indicating we'll end up above average through the first week of January. So let's see what that looks like on our temperature trend. Again, we'll be topping out below average for tomorrow. Still cold through Tuesday. Then we start to climb back up into the upper 30s to lower 40s by Wednesday and Thursday, which is right around average for this time of year. And then we'll be hanging out in the low to mid 40s through the weekend before topping out at around 50 by the time we get into next Monday. So that is a quick look at the forecast there. Let me go ahead and take this full screen. Again, if you have any questions or comments for anything that I have here, please let me know, and I'm happy to read them, but I'm going to go through some of these comments now. William says, I thought I'd seen snow starting next week, maybe around the 6th. Yeah, there's always, model Magic Land always shows something a week out. I wouldn't necessarily put a lot of money on it, but we are getting colder, and, the storm track is still fairly active even beyond this week. So I don't want to completely rule it out, but there's not really a good signal for it around the 6th, but we'll keep an eye. And then it looks like Cheyenne says, good evening. Suzanne says, it has sure been cold all day. Yes, it has been. Paula says, good evening. Christmas says, last week was great and this week, not at all. Too cold, LOL. Yes, Chris, I agree. Too cold. But hey, can't complain too much. We're getting back up to around average. So, it's not perfect. It's not the 80-degree weather that I love, but we'll take it. And then Paula says she's also just thankful for some sunshine. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to see a return of some mostly sunny skies tomorrow. Today was a bit on the cloudier side, and it doesn't look like we'll have, any day where we have a full bright sunny day because it is just winter that time of year. We just have a lot of cloud cover hanging around, so we will see some sunshine through the rest of this 7-day period though, so that is something to be thankful for, and fairly quiet as we start the new year. I mean, we had a pretty rough end to the 2025 with just that cold front yesterday, the storms, that huge drop in temperature, so I'm happy we've got some tranquil conditions here for the next week. But that is all I've got for the forecast, so I'm going to send you guys on over to 14 News at 10, which is actually not going to be on air tonight. That is actually going to be on streaming services only. So the same way that you're watching my weather stream now is the same way you'll get the latest news and weather headlines tonight at 10, because we do have basketball playing on 14 News. So just tune in on Facebook, our website, or our app, and you'll get all of the news and weather that you need. But until then, everybody stay safe, stay warm, and have a great rest of your night, and have a happy New Year.